You're listening to FFOP Radio.
Reach the Hey everybody, and welcome to the show. My name is Dave, and this is a Fistful podcast from FFOPradio.com. Back for another great episode. Let me introduce you to my guest slash co-host. He's back once again. You know him. He's probably your favorite, unless it's PJ. It's actually RJ Snacks on the show. What's up, RJ?
Yay! We love RJ! Oh, thank you so much. And I was thrown off a little bit because I don't know why I expect you to say from fistfulpodcast.com. I know it hasn't been that in a while.
Yeah, after the first one went down, it got sold to that Chinese sex site. We had to burn all bridges.
Yeah.
Great, now you have to mute me saying that.
Yeah, I'm cutting all that out. I mean, I might as well scrap the whole episode. In studio, of course, over there, Krista's on the co-host mic.
Yes, that's a strange way to say I'm on the co-host mic.
I'm trying to mix things up, and that's because, I'm the host. You'd be technically the co-host, I guess.
I'm the wife.
RJ's the guest.
Yeah.
But, everybody likes to be a co-host, so I like to hand that out to as many people as possible.
Yeah,
Come on.
everyone's a co-host that has a microphone.
So, RJ, here's the thing. I know we've been talking about Cars, the Disney Pixar animated film, right?
One of my favorites.
I know, it's your absolute favorite movie. For the listener, for the uninitiated in the Discord that we are, for the show, we've been talking about things. Okay, so also a little backstory too. Let me just unpack this. So, recently, we recorded an episode 2 hours in length all about the movie Cars.
Yep.
My co-host that I invited for that episode, due to a technical malfunction, ruined it. I'm not going to say who it was because I don't want to blow up their spot and make them feel bad. But through a technical fault, no fault of their own, rather, gone. So I've got a few things I want to talk about regarding Cars, but I don't want to spend another 2 hours on it and possibly then have lost 4 hours on it. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You cut your losses.
Yeah, so I feel like if I just get a little bit out here, because my son has watched it and I've watched it several dozen times, and I was, one, surprised that you had seen it at all, because your reputation precedes you regarding movies.
Very proud of it.
Yeah, at this point, how could you not? Like, it must be a point of pride to be like, no, I've never seen a good movie. Which, I'm going to pitch you an idea later, but we'll get to that it's later in the notes. Let's talk about Cars. So here's the thing about Cars. I don't see how this universe exists. That's the the big picture in this ballpark. I don't see how these fucking creatures and or machines and or melding of the two can possibly exist.
But why is that?
Because, so here, I'm going to ask you, do you think that the cars in the movie Cars are biological, mechanical, or a mix of the two?
Oh, God. Well, they have, because freaking Mater, he's a tow truck. They have repair shops, right? So that's mechanical.
Yeah. Doc is a doctor. But so here's the thing. But the eyes, RJ, the eyes, and the fact that their insides are not hollow, right?
Yeah, there's no room for seats.
Yeah, they've got eyes that take up the front windshield, and the rest of the windows on the cars, every car, is silver. You cannot see. I believe that is their organs.
Okay.
But here's the thing. We basically see the sheriff's undercarriage in a scene where he barges in when he's seeing the doctor. And it's like, they have engines and there's exhaust, and so there's definitely an engine in there. And because they have to take gas, too.
Yeah, I think they're inside the car, in like where passenger, like humans would sit, is their brain, and underneath is all their organs and shit.
But they still have to take gas into the tank with the opening in the rear, and they have to drink oil through their mouth.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
and also, how do they, waste? Where does that go? Like when they drink the oil, they're not changing it necessarily, right?
Well, first of all, it's a liquid diet, so it all comes out of the exhaust system as fumes.
So are they burning oil then? Is that what we're getting at?
A little bit at a time. They should probably get it changed.
Okay, but here's another thing. So we never see anybody's hood open in the movie Cars.
Mm-hmm.
Because how could that be? Like, that would be like
That's
opening
like
your chest up, right?
I guess.
Where's their mouth? The mouth is
the mouth
bumper,
is like,
right?
But yeah, basically where the bumper is. And here's another thing that will confuse everybody, because typically there's two ways to depict anthropomorphic cars or sentient cars. You have the model where the eyes are the headlights, right? And there's the grill and everything, and the face is basically right there on the front. Or we've got where the eyes are back on the windshield, like we have in the movie Cars, which implies that is there's a closed system, and also maybe organs in there because no doors ever open.
Now you got me picturing the brave little toaster and wondering what the anatomy of the toaster is.
See, that makes more sense to me, because in the brave little toaster, they're just random household objects that came to life. So I'm willing to buy magical bullshit. Their internal assembly is no different than any other toaster, because he makes toast, like the vacuum vacuums. The light is a desk lamp,
I've never seen that, so I don't.
Oh, how the tables have turned.
Well, it's basically as it's being described here. It's a bunch of household objects that it's kind of like homeward bound, but instead of animals, it's household appliances.
Oh, okay.
And that's why I'm not fuzzy on the biology or the mechanics there, because like when the humans show up, they go inert. Mm-hmm. And they have to make toast and vacuum and shit like that.
They Toy Story it.
Oh, yeah, definitely. They're Toy Storying it before Toy Story was even a thing. But in the universe of Cars, there are no humans. There are no living beings aside from cars. We have cars and then car bugs, but no other car animals, except for the tractors. Except for the tractors and Frank.
And Frank, yeah.
So maybe there are other maybe there are other car-related animals. I'm not here to squabble over that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
There's no humans is the problem.
No, but I'm convinced that toward the end, with that one little car, is a baby, a kid car.
I do not believe it is a kid car.
I do, because I've seen it 800 million times as well. And
just because it's small, like I don't think...
No, it makes a little kid noise, like it's excited over something, like a toddler or a baby.
It's the squeaking of the antenna because it's excited about the jets, because it's got a jet on its antenna, so it's waving it.
Because it's a child.
No, there's no goddamn way. There's no such thing as a child car. Right, RJ? Back me up here.
So they don't reproduce, is what you're saying?
I don't believe so. We're led to believe. Okay, so here's the thing. They run on gas, number one. They cannot exist without something that needed to be there before they existed. So they already live in a paradox. Mm-hmm. The sentient cars live in a universe where they need to run on gas, ergo they have to mine fossil fuels and make gasoline. If that didn't exist, where the fuck did they come from? And this is not a chicken or the egg scenario. You cannot run a car without gas, and they could not have been without the thing that they are actively producing.
So what you're trying to tell me is once they became sentient, they killed all the humans off, and...
Okay,
revolted.
RJ, yeah, you make a good point, because that's what you would logically come to then. You say, okay, well, something happened like a reverse EMP, right? An EMP would kill all electronics. Something killed all life but invigorated cars. You say, well, I totally can buy that. Here's the problem. We see in that universe the landscape in the town of Radiator Springs around which the movie is set. There are mountain formations in the shape of Cadillacs and Fords.
Henry.
No, the fucking front end of a goddamn like Studebaker is in the fucking desert. And it looks awesome, but here's the thing. If humans were there, then we would recognize it as Earth. What we are seeing are natural geological formations based around the anatomy of cars. This is the movie version of, and maybe you're familiar with it, maybe you're not, but the Rick and Morty episode where they're trying to find a new planet and they go to that planet where everything is on the cob.
Yeah.
I have not, but I
damn it.
feel like I need to watch it.
Yeah. They go to a planet where everything is on the cob. Everything, mountains, the rivers, streams, like everything, the molecules, everything is on the cob. And like, that's the running gag. And this is that. It's everything cars. Like the geology is cars. The bugs are cars. The sentient prevailing life are cars. And so what the fuck?
My head is starting to hurt thinking about all this.
Right, because and you don't think of it while you're watching it because it's a beautiful piece of cinema. Mm-hmm. It looks great. There's not very much dialogue when it doesn't need to be there. The story is bare bones, so it's easy to get lost in the beautiful vistas and shit. But if you have to watch it 40 or 50 fucking times,
and you know all the words of said dialogue and the songs,
like I'm not even going to dig into the socioeconomic destruction that Lightning McQueen brings to the small town of Radiator Springs. I'm going to skip over that because it would take too long. I just want to focus on the biology and or the mechanics of these motherfuckers. Because in the movie, it's like, what's his nuts' first year? Lightning McQueen's first year. Yeah, he showed up out of nowhere. So he must have been built. Because cars don't grow.
I mean, unless there's baby cars.
But they don't grow. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So that's the thing. We don't see... Yeah. Like where would a car get pregnant and carry and build a baby car inside of itself? And then where is it coming out?
The trunk, where else?
What? But then, okay, so then what is the the gas go? The gas, RJ, they have to be mechanical because of the gas.
I feel like you're trying to fit human anatomy into a car. What happens if it's completely different?
But here's the thing, RJ. If we don't live in a world where human anatomy at least somehow applies, they are designed with car doors and with handles for humans. The cameras the paparazzi cars use are built to human hand specifications and then added to a brace modified so they can have it on their car bodies. Everything they use is built for human use. The fucking gas pumps.
Yeah.
They build gas pumps for hands. Who has hands?
Not cars.
Exactly.
The only ones that remotely have any kind of hand thing is like Guido, like the forklift guys and Guido and stuff. But they're
Guido and all the little forklift dudes they have the forks obviously for manipulating smaller objects, but everybody else has got tires
with like magnets on them or something.
And they're using telekinesis of some sort. There's no way around that. Like
they're all mutants.
That's the thing. What are we looking at? What are we looking at here? God damn it. Are they animal? Are they machine? Are they both? Are they like a Terminator situation? Like, let me know. I want to know if I stab Lightning McQueen, will he bleed because he's like the Terminator and has, living flesh atop like a steel skeleton?
Well, that's the thing. When the king, spoiler alert, when the king gets into that huge accident and he is all sorts of fucked up, nothing comes out of him, not even oil. Yeah. And he was wrecked to shit.
All the fucking destroyed cars in the first crash. Like, there's attempted murder in this movie that goes unprosecuted, RJ.
Yep.
I mean,
multiple times.
You've seen the movie at least once, right?
Yes.
So you're familiar with Chick Hicks's affinity to cause crashes.
I am familiar with Ka-Chow.
That's Lightning McQueen.
That's Lightning McQueen. The green car.
Yeah, the green car with the grill mustache.
The evil.
So you showed me that meme of Kachinga or whatever it is.
Kachinga.
And
that's Chick Hicks.
And I said to myself, "Who the hell's that?"
That's Chick Hicks. He's the goddamn antagonist of the movie, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, but barely.
I remember more about Mater than I even remember about Lightning McQueen.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. If Mater were in this movie doing the bare bones, like he doesn't like even say very many funny things. I would count 2 or 3 jokes that Mater actually cracks. One that's actually funny. So, RJ, I'm sure you have no memory of this.
Oh, no, not at all.
But in the movie, Lightning, fucks up the road of Radiator Springs and gets sentenced to repaving the road. And there's a comedy bit in a courtroom where Mater ends up as Lightning McQueen's lawyer. Blah, blah, blah. Flash forward. Doc Hudson is like, guess what? You're paving this road. And Mater comes up to Lightning right before all this starts going down. And he goes, oh, by the way, you owe me $32,000 in legal fees. Genuinely funny. Not hilarious, but it's funny. And you can see it because even in the shitty way I told it to you, it was funny. But by and large, he doesn't do much.
No.
Was there a TV show that also had cars?
I don't think they ever made it to. They have 3 feature films, but no TV shows.
Yeah.
I thought they did like a spin-off of something with Mater, but unless that was one of the movies.
They have a like a short that's the Ghost Light. They have a couple stupid things on YouTube, but the Ghost Light is like Mater's short.
Yeah, it's his little short cartoon.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. And the world of Cars is fucked. Like, right off the bat, right? There's no rhyme or reason except there's internal logic that everybody more or less adheres to. We can gloss over a lot of the design issues, a lot of the geology, and settle on the fact that, the world is what it is. And then I saw like the first 20 minutes of Cars 2, and I got so angry because it basically undoes all the rules at least semi-adhered to in number 1.
Right.
In like no time at all.
Oh, I missed it.
But I don't want to talk about Cars 2 because I haven't seen most of it. It sucked. Even though Bruce Campbell does a cameo, there's murder in it. Like immediately, it's the whatever.
What about Planes?
I haven't seen Planes. Here's the thing. What happens is sometimes an idea is only good for one turn, one season, one movie, one album, one whatever. That's what Cars is. Cars was a love letter to the 60s. It was a love letter to Route 66, and it was a love letter to classic cars. There's no story there. It was nothing. It stands on no legs. Our hero is an asswipe. Our our damsel in distress or whatever, she's a nothing. Doc Hudson's a nothing. No one learns anything. It's just a beautiful picture, God damn it. So the fact that it went on and then sprouted legs is like, what was the thing that the Minions are based on?
Despicable Me.
Was that the original?
Yeah.
Yes.
And Minions is a spin-off of that because they're in there.
This is what that feels like. Despicable Me, shitty movie, but it had enough gimmicks and it had Steve Carell and it had enough that people didn't find it completely distasteful. Like middle America loved the fuck out of it. Mm. But then Minion after Minion after Minion movie came out and those things are creatively bankrupt. There's nothing there. I've seen some of the Minions movies and the spin-offs thereof. Nothing. Like they're hoping to lull you in with the fact that the Minions sound funny. Great. That's what Cars is. Everything after the first Cars, I feel, is going to be a blowout of everything that is established in one movie is going to be blown away by the second one.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, it kind of already did from where they went from one place to a totally different country.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil, but living people who voiced characters in Cars 1 actually died in real life. So they have to explain them away in number 2, obviously. And so that immediately breaks the magic.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because and it's fucking crazy because it's like, we don't establish death, really. There's one death and he's already dead and he's the founder of Radiator Springs. You don't know how he died. You assume a crash, maybe, who knows? But there's no such thing as death because the old 1901 Ford Model A lady is still there, kicking and alive and everything, so fine. I forget where I was going with that. Shit.
Everything they don't recognize death, and a bunch of characters from the first movie died.
Oh, yeah, so they have to go like, well...
Now that they're not here anymore.
Yeah, spoiler alert. I'm not going to say it because maybe you want to watch it someday, but isn't it a shame that this character up and died suddenly, having no death in the other movie, and then everybody has to stand around and talk about it awkwardly and mention all the people who died?
Damn.
Because like in the first one, a guy who voiced some of the characters died in midst of production.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't like, at that point where he died, like his character disappeared from the movie and everyone stopped, look at each other and go like, isn't it a shame? And call attention to it?
Wow. So-and-so isn't here anymore.
Yeah. And they go, oh, well, we are all, basically it's brushed off as easy as like, the grim specter of death is coming for us all. Anyway, what's for lunch? That is like, it's tossed off like that, whatever. There's like no gravitas given to it. But that leads me into the idea that I have that you may or may not need to sign off on. I'm going to exploit your black hole of movie knowledge. And I'm pitching you a show, basically.
Okay. What do we got?
So I'm thinking, I've seen a lot of movies you haven't. So here is my idea/challenge. Is we do a show like this and I describe to you, I give you a review of a movie to see if you will watch it. And if you do watch it, we'll get your reaction to it after the fact. But I don't imagine that'll be happening a lot.
I am pretty lazy.
Well, not only that, but like, once I tell you, like, that's the thing about, I have people tell me movie plot synopses, so I don't have to watch the fucking movie.
Right.
Like, I do that actively in real life right now. So I'm wondering if I can either entice you to watch a movie, or you say, you know what, that's enough, I'm done. So
you're testing your selling ability.
Basically, not only my selling ability, but also your willingness to step into a genre that you have, let's be real, very little interest in.
Mm.
So it would be, I don't even know how to, like, there's game shows based on this type of shit. But yeah, basically that's what I'm getting at.
So we're just going to start a React channel. And then it's just going to be, no, hear me out. We're going to start a React channel.
Okay.
And the movie's going to play and the couch is just going to be empty. And I'm going to come in like halfway through and be like, what the hell is this? And then turn it off and walk away.
This is a way worse idea, RJ. Like, by a lot. I hope you haven't put any thought into this because it's really bad.
So we get a shotgun that has a camera on it.
Yeah, so we have a camera, right? And we stick a shotgun through the camera and I say, RJ, say cheese, and blam. But here's the thing. I would not tell you the movie I was going to pitch you, maybe. That could be the thing. Like, maybe that could be the one of our details that spices all this up. Like, if I were to describe a movie to you, you could say, you know what, I'm good. That's enough, and I won't tell you the title. But if you want to see it, then I'll tell you what it is.
Or you get 3. Don't tell me the title of either. I have to pick one after you sell them to me.
That would take so long, RJ. Like, I'm just trying to get you to watch a movie.
It doesn't have to be like a 20-minute conversation.
RJ,
David,
who are you
right?
talking to? Like,
It's like you don't even know me.
Am I the only person not tone deaf to the humans around me?
He wanted to mention a couple things about cars, and it's been how long?
Yeah, I was like, hey, let's talk for 2 minutes about cars. I was going to go 2 minutes. We went 20, RJ. Like, and I was
Did we start recording?
God damn it. Like, if you want to, we can jump back into cars and I can try and get you to watch Cars by the end of this show. This could be a surprise.
Well, I won't need to because you'll tell me everything.
Yeah, that's the thing. This might be a surprise pilot for this show, and it might reinvigorate you to be like, you know what? I want to see if all that shit that he said is right. Or do I even give a shit?
Or you need to watch it to see if I'm right at the end that little car is a kid, or if David.
It's not a kid. There's no such thing as a goddamn kid car in Cars. There's no fucking way.
I like how you said you did one already where you talked for 2 hours about Cars, and I'm gonna guess Cars is probably about 90 minutes.
It's 122
Roughly.
minutes.
Oh, okay. So it's about. So you talked about it.
2 hours. And that's the thing. I had to edit a lot of what I wanted to talk about because I was blowing through the time, RJ. Like 2 hours was nothing. I have so many questions above and beyond what I've talked to you about and above and beyond the 2 hours that are in the can that was a trash can fire.
I need to get you. I've seen like pictures and I think of a few statues of like Pokemon that are cut in half and it has the anatomy of like the inside of a Pokemon. I need to get you one of those, but for like Lightning McQueen. Just Lightning McQueen cut in half and showing you the insides of whether it's organs or whether it's mufflers or, that's how you make cars. You just stack mufflers.
Yeah, if you can find that, I'll take it. Like you may have to commission some artist from Etsy or something. But yeah, but even then, it'll just be pure speculation. Because we'll never know unless but here's the thing. They kind of answer a lot of these questions.
They unfreeze Walt and you shake him and be like, what's the answer?
Yeah. Like, hey, Walt, you've been in the freezer 70 years. And last year they released a movie that you would know nothing about. What up with that? Well, do you have like a wake Walt Disney for that shit? I would talk to what's his nuts, John Lasseter. But even he doesn't know. Like, there's no reason.
What is the reason?
That's just it. They live in a society of cars that somehow were influenced by humans that never existed.
Disneyland has a Cars Land.
Yeah, they've got a Cars area or whatever.
Yeah.
But
I wonder...
What do you think they're going? Oh yeah, I wonder if they're going to have the answers. Yeah, I'm going to go find a cast member and be like, "Excuse me, this may take a while. Is there a chair around
Do
here?
you have 2 hours?
Like,
if I open Lightning McQueen's door, what's on the inside?
Yeah,
will
and
it
I
just
would
bleed?
Here's the thing: it would free up my mind on this issue if they released like, how they did for like all the Star Trek. Ships, they released like basically an owner's manual that has like a breakdown of the warp drive and the computer core and all this stuff. You can actually flip through it and it's like real bullshit in there.
Oh yeah, I actually have a copy right over here.
Are you serious? Because I actually do.
Not at all.
God damn it. Of course you don't.
I've never even seen Star Trek.
I can never fucking trust a word you say, and yet I do. God damn it! Why is that?
I mean, I've seen the Chris Pine ones.
I know we've gone over this, RJ, and it is incredibly disheartening that you have not seen Star Trek. So the fact that you keep bringing it up is a dagger in my heart.
I love Patrick Stewart, though.
Yeah, he's great.
He's pretty amazing.
I think his pinnacle is probably playing Bullock in American Dad.
Oh, yes.
Like perfect casting comedically, and like the chops of his acting are there. So you believe every line, and that's what you need in that role.
Yeah.
But now, and see, that's the thing. He's doing Picard, and it's not going great, and it's like, he's tarnishing his legacy a little bit. I would just be like, yeah, we're gonna stick with Bullock.
There we go. That's where it ends.
Yeah, like that. Because he was kind of doing like what Leslie Nielsen did, because before he started doing those zany things and became known as a comedy goofball, Leslie Nielsen was a serious dramatic actor. Mm-hmm. And he, like Patrick Stewart was poised to do exactly that. He could have slid into retirement and into infamy by being a Leslie Nielsen, but not turning into the complete sellout hack that Leslie Nielsen eventually turned into. Which everybody does, because if you live long enough, you see yourself becoming a monster. But whatever, we could have had a lot longer Leslie Nielsen period comedically from Patrick Stewart.
But whatever, cars don't have organs.
And cars, do they? I don't know. Here's the thing. They could be a hybrid, because not to go back to this, but you forced my hand. The fucking cars can start and turn off their engines. At one point during the show, the movie rather, Doc Hudson and Lightning McQueen are going to race. And so Luigi is there being the officiator, the official for the race. Fucking Guido's there wanting to do a pit stop. Irrelevant. Moral of the story is, he says, start your engines. That here, mechanically rather speaking, once the engine dies, the car is dead. The engine is not running, so the car does not move. It will not do anything. But Doc Hudson and then Lightning McQueen go on to start their engines so they can race.
Yep. And they can move without gas.
Only slowly, though. So here's the thing. That's why I'm still not going to give up on the half biological, half fucking mechanical. They're Terminator-esque. The engine, all the mechanics are in there because we can see there's pipes and there's metal. Mm-hmm. I think what we could call their body that should be metal is flesh, but semi-metallic.
Or it's just a computer.
No, because they've got to have some sort of biology. Behind their eyes is some sort of at least hybrid biological mechanical brain.
There's just a person inside each one pulling strings.
But then why bullshit ourselves into doing that? Like, if it is just a race of puppeteers, right? And everybody is just living in a car /truck /SUV /RV /whatever. What the fuck? Like, it's a civilization that was like so dedicated to the mechanical version of furries, they were like, fuck it. Like, they essentially matrixed themselves into these mechanical monsters, never to see another physical form of a human?
I don't like that.
Right? Because then you would have to leave the cars every once in a while to fuck and make things, other humans, to pilot new cars that you would have to make. Because humans die. And that's what I'm getting at, is like the engine could keep them alive, and the biology that is their whatever on the exterior could go on, semi-indefinitely, because it's not having to support like organs or...
But that's more believable than cars that are half biological, half mechanic.
I don't believe it is.
No, yeah, I think the half biological...
Because it would be incredibly taxing to do that. The puppeteering, I'm saying.
This whole charade. What are the Transformers?
But they never transform, and that would still not solve anything that I've covered.
I'm just saying, like, the Transformers aren't... They're all mechanical, right?
Yeah.
They just have some kind of, what was it, the spark or something?
The All-Spark. I've never even seen those movies, and I know they're stupid lore because it's that fake. Yeah, but that's the thing. They don't... The problem is, yeah, the Transformers do have some sort of life and consciousness, but they have no biological parts. The cars in cars have eyes, they have tongues, they have teeth, they have several things.
They have teeth?
Yes.
Yeah.
They have they have the equivalent of mustaches. They have things they should not have unless part of them is biological.
Oh no. Now I just pictured VeggieTales.
Why?
I don't, because I was thinking
completely organic.
I know, well, yes, but at the same time, it's also, I was just picturing the eyes and the mouth, and then I started thinking how they're very similar to the eyes and mouth on, like, the vegetables.
In no way do I see that. Having seen Cars a lot recently and being familiar with the VeggieTales, it's night and day, RJ. What's going on?
Well, I've barely seen both.
All right.
I didn't know VeggieTales was I didn't know they were like a religious thing.
They are.
I didn't either.
But this is like Krista. She thinks that everybody who has incidental characteristics of a celebrity looks like a celebrity. Like if somebody has male pattern baldness and glasses, pick a celebrity and she'll be like, doesn't he look like blank? No, never.
There was a
Doesn't that
guy
look like
on a
Gilbert
show.
Godfrey?
No, last night it was George Costanza. There was a dude that looked like George Costanza.
Different color hair, different color eyes, larger pronounced jaw, smaller nose. Look, nothing like George Costanza, but guess what? He wore glasses and had male pattern baldness, except his hair was blonde and curly and puffy. Nothing at all like George Costanza, but there were two characteristics that I named there, and she was like, yep. And I was like, no, not even close. Not even a little bit. Take off the glasses and he's just a bald dude with puffy hair on the sides. So, maybe you and her share a similar degenerative disorder where you can't recognize faces.
Maybe it's an East Coast thing.
Yeah.
I fail to see how. Is it in the water? Like it affected your brain where it like the facial recognition area?
It's
like
pronounced water.
Water?
Water.
Like you can see a face, but beyond that, they're all just sort of gray.
Well, to be fair, I'm just blind.
But why do you have a driver's license? Do you? I should have asked. I need to see that.
I do. I mean, don't tell everybody I'm blind. Jeez.
Is there Braille on it?
Yes.
Because that would give it away to the cop immediately.
That's how I park my car. I just, yep, I'm on the curb. Cool.
Just feel for it.
Yeah.
Bump.
There seems like a lot of things going on in your life, RJ, that I don't mean to pry about, but I do need to talk about or touch base with the mop and how her situation is.
Mop is doing great. A little damp, but we're working on it.
So, okay. Do you work at a place where you share a bathroom with other people? Like, is there a common area?
Yes.
I forget. The last time I checked in with you job-wise, you were various security guards on various planes of existence. Is that still a thing?
No, I'm in a warehouse now.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah. Warehouse.
Moving furniture.
Okay, so yeah, then you definitely have a bathroom where a bunch of sweaty dudes are constantly blasting it to hell and back, right?
Oh, constantly.
Okay, so the bathroom at the place I work is literally, I can see into the bathroom. If I were to open my office and the bathroom, I can see it. God damn it. Whoever built the build out of where I work was generous and tied the fan into the light. And not only that, put in one hell of a fan. But here's the thing. Somebody keeps putting this disgusting air freshener in the bathroom. So when everybody goes in there and explodes because they're all disgusting human animals and they can't control themselves, when they leave the kitchen a mess, they go to the bathroom, they blow it 6 ways from Sunday. They think, whoops, I'll do me a solid because the doors, we can see. Like as soon as I open the door, we're going to make eye contact. I'll blast this place with this disgusting ass shit and turn off the light so
the fan doesn't run.
Fan is off.
So wait, they're just in the dark.
Well, no, once they leave.
Oh, when they leave. Okay, yeah. I thought you walk in and they're just sitting in the dark.
No, if I made it sound like they're sitting in the dark spraying air freshener, I apologize. After they take their nasty shits, they spray a shit ton of this air freshener and then turn off the light, which then kills the fan. And since this air freshener seems to be heavier than lead, it immediately sinks to the floor, crawls into my office, which is then whipped up by my fan, and I'm immediately nauseated.
Oh.
That is beside the point. Because I easily just run in there, flip the thing on, and it sucks all the shit right back out of my office. So no problem there. But there's this disturbing trend of somebody who's like, I feel spraying it directly on the toilet seat.
It's not disinfectant.
Exactly. It's just Febreze, and it's awful. So here's when I went in to use the bathroom today, the only way I can describe it is this. Imagine going into the forest, finding a nice, mossy, furry log, drop trow, and sit on that bad boy. And that was the experience I was treated to today because it was just saturated, and I don't know what the fuck is in it to make it feel like there's texture, but it did feel like I was sitting on lichen and mold and moss.
Oh, God.
I was very grossed out. And immediately, once the grossness of the feeling evaporated, I realized it's already too late. It is now coating my thighs and undercarriage.
Where your muffler is.
Right. All that. The catalytic converter, the whole nine.
Just all mossy and not disinfected.
This is the type of shit I would do maliciously. If I wanted, if I knew someone I hated was coming into the bathroom after me, this is exactly what I would do to them. And they did it to me out of a kindness, RJ. So here's what I'm getting at. Don't do things for people because you think it's nice for them. Don't. It will go wrong for them. Because every time someone tries to do me a kindness, it's the worst fucking thing ever. And, I can't hold it against the person because they're doing it for my benefit in their mind. And so I can't run out and be like, stop fucking spraying that stuff. Because literally, I'm the only one near the bathroom. They get to walk 30 feet away to the other side of the office where all the rooms and the desks and shit are. So even if they did zero work and left that thing smelling like shit, it would be less work than having them spray it for my benefit. And here's the thing. Sometimes I take it and I hide it. And they find it every fucking time.
I put it in the back of the tank of the toilet. They found it.
I hide it in the bathroom, out of the bathroom, like creative places. Then finally just started throwing it away. And they were like, no, this is too important. And people are now actively buying it to bring it in.
Nice.
You
the
just need
same one?
Some of the poopery.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. These idiots don't know how to use the regular air freshener that has the word air in the title. That's where you release it, motherfucker. It's not toilet seat cleaner.
Well, my job they closed the restrooms down. Well, we have 2 sets of restrooms, and they closed one side of the building down because they wanted to remodel it. And they brought in these very nice porta potties, actually, but so we could use it for people on that side of the building. But anyways, they grand opening, they're unlocked finally. They made 2 separate rooms, which I thought were going to be male and female. They're both male. This is the 3rd room that I learned about later. But the first one is gigantic. You walk in, there's 6 urinals on the wall.
Wow.
5 to 6 feet of space behind you.
Luxury.
I know. And then there's nothing else in there except for on the same wall as the urinals, 2 sinks. So it's just tons of square footage, just empty.
Oh.
So you just enter this nice, shiny white room with just 6 and there's about 6 or 7 feet between the urinals and the sink. And then...
Okay, so, but here's the thing. I want to... Is this... You're coming to me in outrage? Because I'm only seeing silver linings here.
It sounds good so far, right?
Right.
So if you just need to pee, you just go in there, boom, plenty of space, blah, blah, blah. You walk, you need to go number 2, can't go in the urinal room, got to go in the other room.
Exactly.
So you go around the corner, you open that door. It is the tightest room you can imagine. Immediately, 2 sinks on your right. After the sinks, boom, first stall. If you face the door, it is exactly shoulder width apart.
Wow.
And then there's another stall right next to it. And then the handicap stall. So I'm like, why didn't they put 6 urinals in the small room and then just fill that gigantic room with as many stalls as you could?
Okay. So two things. Number one, since it's around the corner, it's funny that it holds true to that old adage of milk, lemonade. But number 2, and literally number 2, that is exactly how I would design a bathroom given my druthers. Because here's the thing, RJ, you're thinking about it from the user's point of view, where I am now thinking of it as the owner's. Like, if I own that building, then yeah, you want to give dudes room to stretch out, because with urinals, your wiener is out there. It's a very exposed, for some dudes, they can feel a lot of anxiety. So it's nice to have the room. It's nice to be able to stretch out. And also, it's nice that there is not the scent of shit if all you want to go in and do is take a piss. So, boom.
But it's not like the urinals. It's not like the urinals are spaced out further away from each other. It's the same as any other bathroom. The urinals are right next to each other. You have that little divider wall that sticks out about 13 inches. But
well, still, whatever. Yeah. Moral of the story is I think brilliant, because the worst thing about using a public restroom 10 times out of 10 is you're going in there to take a piss. Like, you're at a restaurant, you're at a movie, you got to just empty the tank really quick, because the people who save number 2 for a public setting are monsters and or poor planners. So most of us are going in there to take a whiz, and we're always dealing with one of those fucking cretins who's like, you know what? I'm going to save this for Harkins movie theater, or this baby's going with me to the macaroni grill, or whatever. Those fucking animals. So I get it. And that's why I'm on board with the very tight shit bathroom because people, they'll gold brick, and a way to gold brick that people can't call you on necessarily is in the bathroom.
Yeah.
So if it is a miserable place, and not miserable as like, I'm sure there's like amenities and toilet paper and a fan, but if you're on top of one another, you're going to want to get out of there pretty quick.
Yeah.
So this is a perfect design, I think.
I find it so weird because if someone does take up like the first two stalls, it's not the handicap stall because obviously that one's going to have more room.
Right.
If you are both sitting down, your feet are probably like 2 inches away from each other. That's so weird. You can't avoid seeing the other person's foot right next to yours.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like how it is in women's bathrooms.
It's,
we don't have a choice.
Well,
but
yeah, because you don't have
stall.
Yeah, they've got to have stalls, so that's square footage is at a premium.
Yeah,
but still, yeah, what you're describing is exactly what I would want people who would be shitting on my property to feel. Like, this is not how you would design a home bathroom, obviously, but this is exactly what I would want public restrooms to be. Like when you go to a movie theater, there should be one to the right with a shit ton of urinals, and then the one you're describing around the corner with the 3 toilets. So those animals can only punish each other eternally, and the rest of us can get in and out without having to smell their insides.
You need to install a little spray, almost like a reverse bidet, and then when someone leaves, it just coats the toilet seat in Febreze after everyone leaves.
Oh, so yeah, even so, like as a further deterrent, you're saying?
Yep, they come in, they're just like, I got to get out of here.
Oh yeah, not only are you going to have to like rub big toes with your cellmate next to you, like your ass is going to feel moldy, and you're going to have to take that back to the theater seat with you. I like the way you're thinking, RJ.
You will never poop here again.
Yeah, I think we should start publicly punishing people who shit in public. Because they're fucking animals. Here's the thing. I understand that everybody once in a while is going to get caught off guard. I can't speak to that. But the fact that it happens so regularly, because I'm one of these people who will not use a public restroom for that occasion unless it is dire circumstances for all of the before mentioned reasons. And I am always assaulted by someone who is the casual user. It is never has there been a time when I had to break the seal in public that almost immediately, as soon as you can, I mean, you get past the hump, right? Because the worst part of everything is the first part. So once you get past the hump and everything sort of settles down, you go, okay. That's the moment when they fucking strike. They come in and take the stall next to you. Or, God forbid, you're at one of those beach toilets with the half walls.
Oh my God.
And you go,
oh God.
Finally, everything is chill. Like you scoped it out. No one's used it for 20 minutes. You go in there and you go, and then like 2 dudes walk in. One's got dreads. They're fresh off of surfing, and they sidle up to the urinal that's literally right next to you to that half wall. And they take a nice peek over and you go, what up?
There is a rest stop in Arizona, and I believe it's like going up to Flagstaff or something. I don't know. Anyway, the stalls in the bathroom are literally that. They are half stalls. So anybody that walks in the stall or into the bathroom, because the door is right there, they look right into your eyes while you're sitting there peeing, and it is the most disturbing, uncomfortable experience ever. And that's why I don't use public bathrooms.
There's nothing, and that's why people who shit in public are fucking monsters. And here's the thing: there's no security. Like we were at one of the aforementioned beach toilets after I had already been traumatized myself. But one of my buddies, there were 3 of us. One of my buddies is like, I got to shit so bad, and we couldn't go back to the beach camp that was at the church for another 18 hours or whatever. So he's like, okay, I'm going to go. He says, stand guard. But here's the thing. How do you stop someone from going into a public restroom? So we made, our friend's in there, and the guy goes, don't worry about it. But
and it just barges in.
Yes, just goes right in. And I was so upset for my friend who was in there shitting because this particular beach bathroom didn't even have the half wall. Dude was sitting there taking his shit in plain sight of the dude's dong because the back of the toilet and the urinal shared the same wall, obviously, because that's where the water source is. So as my friend is taking an awkward beach shit, he's also getting to see guy pull, hang dong. And, what do I do?
So was there only one toilet and one urinal?
Yep.
Wow.
And that's all it was.
So usually when that's the case, I assume it's a single person restroom. There was no lock on the door.
No, there wasn't a door, dude. This was a beach bathroom.
Oh.
No door, no lock, no wall at this particular one. Sometimes
you just turn the corner.
Yes. The only thing keeping you from embarrassment is the fact that people can hopefully identify man versus woman on the etched in signs of these horrible bathrooms. And these are bottom of the barrel. All of this still exists up into the finest bathroom. Rich people who shit in public are just as disgusting as the beach bums who shit in public. Doesn't matter. It goes beyond class.
I wish I could remember where this was so I can give them a shout out. But we were at some convention and we went out to eat and I'm like, I gotta go. So I just took off and I went to the restroom and every stall, instead of, they usually have the half, or not the half, but, there's like a foot off the ground wall there. No, this was like brick on each side of you, and then a full door that went to the bottom for every stall. I was like, this is the nicest bathroom I've ever seen in my life in public.
Mm-hmm. There's a restaurant out here that does that, and it's probably a chain. I don't know. I can't remember what it's called, but...
Okay.
Yeah. This
brings to mind the most beautiful yet most frustrating bathroom, because up in there's a little town called Globe, they put in a nice new little like bohemian independent like brick oven pizza restaurant, right? And so because it's designed to be as confusing as possible, to be as trendy as possible, you have to literally leave the restaurant, walk around it, enter the restaurant from the other side, and then go to the bathroom, which is also right next to the kitchen. All of that aside, the bathroom, fucking beautiful. Oh my God. Everything. The texture of the tile that changed from wall to wall, the mirror, all the lighting, absolutely beautiful. But the downfall was it was one of those sliding doors with those big old hook. That just like goes clunk.
Yeah.
And that offered me zero security.
Yeah.
Luckily, I was only there to piss because I'm not a fucking monster, as mentioned before. But in an emergency, there's no way in hell I'd go there.
Yeah. Those kind of locks are like the third lock you put on a door.
Yeah,
that
like
has two locks.
People, if there's a deadbolt on a bathroom, people will try. They will give it 110%. Even though a locked bathroom door, should be an immediate signal that you should stop pulling your Jack Torrance impression and get the axe and smash your way through and be like, here's Johnny. Like, it's locked. Fuck off for another 20 minutes, then come back.
I have had adult women look under the stall door to see if it was occupied.
I don't.
Like,
that's what I'm saying.
You shouldn't be able to see that. Like, if someone's looking under the stall door to see if there's someone in there, once they see toes, they should stop bending over. There's no way I should see their face.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Unless you're just pissing in public, you're a fucking monster. Your family knows it. Your friends know it, but they're too nice to tell you. I don't know you personally. If you do that to society at large, you're a fucking monster and everybody hates it. And depending on how you are as a person, they may or may not tell you, but I'm your friend. I'll tell you the real truth. Stop doing that. It takes very little effort to be like, do I have to go to the bathroom before you leave the house? Just ask yourself. That's it.
When you were talking about the pizza place, I really thought you were going to be like, there was a urinal right next to the toilet, which is right next to the brick oven pizza.
Yeah, the steam comes off of it and everything.
The guy fed me a pepperoni.
Yeah, it's halfway between like one of those teriyaki steak restaurants and an Italian place, because there's like a window above the toilet, and if you go, hey, Opa, they'll slice up like a little mushroom, a little pepperoni. The guy has a nice curly mustache and the big Italian Mario chef's hat. And you go, hey, and you throw a pepperoni.
It's Pasquale from Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah. So when you come back from the bathroom, you get all these fucking grease stains from all the food they've been throwing at you and cheese all over your face. It's a real nice place. I recommend it. They'll throw food at you in the bathroom.
It goes in and it goes out.
Yeah, it's just like all around the toilet is just cheese and diced tomatoes and onions and sardines and shit. I don't know why I said it was beautiful before. It was actually a fucking dump. There was rotting food everywhere.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, yeah. It's a good thing you called me on that, RJ. Place was the fucking worst.
For a split second, I thought you were not serious, but when you said the beautiful part, I thought, or the disgusting part, I was like, oh no, I had this picture all wrong. And then you mentioned the food. I was like, oh, I get it. I get jokes.
Got it.
The student has become the master. Oh man. So I don't have much else going on, RJ. Have you been doing anything? Oh, I wanted to ask you what you're playing recently, if there's anything new.
Oh my god. So they released, I don't know if you follow Bethesda at all. Creatives of such games as the Elder Scrolls series and the Fallout series. Anyways, they're coming out with a new series for the first time in 25 years. It's called Starfield. And they announced it 3 years ago, something like that. They finally showed gameplay footage, and everyone's comparing it to No Man's Sky, which has been out for quite some time now. Which I know. I said the same thing. I was like, oh no. Actually, I bought No Man's Sky when it first came out. Was underwhelmed by it. Never played it again.
I'm sure a lot of people were.
Yeah. But then I knew they came out with updates, and they released a lot of the stuff they said they were going to at launch. But when they started comparing the footage back and forth from Starfield to this, I'm like, well, if I want to play Starfield, I already own this one. Let me check it out. So I downloaded it, and for like 4 days straight, I was just exploring the universe and gathering things and building a base, and I just could not stop playing. It's like I would come home from work, eat dinner, and then play.
But weren't those mechanics there from the jump? Like, wasn't it always procedurally generated, or did they just make it look better?
To be honest, I don't. Well, there's a whole bunch of stuff now. There's I mean, granted, I didn't play much of it when it launched, so I don't know what's brand new and what came out over the years or whatever. But there's space pirate fights you can do. There's tons of missions you can accept, and all these different factions you can join. You can get a freighter and send ships out to deliver stuff and make you money. And I don't know. There's a whole bunch of things to do.
Right, but you didn't find that out until, like, I'm assuming at least a little ways into the game. So the kernel of what I'm trying to get here is, what do you think ignited that fire this time, where you went on a Warcraft style dehydration binge?
I again don't remember the launch, but at least with this one, there's kind of like a tutorial. I feel like the tutorial was bad before.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I get. Okay.
So I'm like, what am I doing here?
Right. So it went from like a Minecraft where they threw you in to like, hey, here's actually how you fucking play the game.
Yeah. Yeah. You can do all this stuff.
Unbelievable. That's features?
There's functions in this game?
Well, so here's my question then. If I assume this all related to Bethesda because you made special mention of them, because if you were to break down their games, Fallout and what was the other one?
Elder Scrolls.
Elder Scrolls.
It's basically the same game in a reskin, right?
Yes. I mean, obviously little differences here and there, but yes.
Right. I mean, but the mechanics, by and large, you're going out into a huge world, dealing with people who dwell exclusively in the uncanny valley to grind up bullshit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are they doing in space that's going to be the unique selling point?
So the selling point is it's like Skyrim and Fallout, but in space.
Whoa!
Oh my god!
So
God.
They said there's going to be over 1,000 planets you can visit.
This feels like sticking a clock in something that already exists and calling it a new thing.
But the main story is going to be a third longer than any main story they've done before. There's 200,000 lines of dialogue they need to record for this whole thing.
So who does that appeal to? First question, if you don't know, Does that appeal to you? Does having that huge task, some would say daunting, in front of you dissuade you from that or make you appeal to it?
I listened to someone talk about it, and I kind of agree with their point of view. 1,000 is way too many.
Oh.
That's way too much to explore. You think?
What?
I would have never guessed. But there is a main storyline. It doesn't take you to all 1,000 planets.
Obviously.
There's going to be a main storyline that you can follow. So if you want the Skyrim Fallout experience where there's a guided storyline that you can, and side quests, which I'm sure adds an extra 200 hours to the game. But you can go and do that. And then if you want to explore on your own, and there's going to be procedurally generated randomly quests that pop up on these other planets that you can do. If that's your jam, you can do it.
This is semi-indicative of the thing that I hate the most, but everybody goes, no, it's great. Here's the thing. Back in the old days, and this is weird to have to say this about video games, but you could buy a video game and that was it. You owned it, you got to play it, and if they made a sequel, you could buy that one. What you're describing to me is buying a core experience that then you can now go into the economy of and burn real money to essentially live in a fake world that is anchored to just a game that you used to be able to buy and play. So I guess my question is answered, because I was going to eventually lead on to why have that big bloated thing hanging off your game. But that's where all your money is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like you're paying extra.
Well, but I bet there's going to be micropayments for things. You're going to have consumables that you will, not you specifically, but you as the player base will happily hand over money for. Plus,
definitely. There's
going to be a subscription, obviously, because they had to keep the servers up and running.
Well, I'm not sure that this game's going to be online. Yes, there'll be DLC and other microtransactions that obviously you'll need to be online for. But mainly, I'm assuming they haven't announced multiplayer yet, as far as I know. So this is still going to be a single-player experience.
Well, I mean, it doesn't ESO online. Doesn't that exist? ESO?
Yeah.
Isn't there Fallout
that's
Online?
specifically... Yeah, but those are their specific online games for those franchises.
Right, but what I'm getting at is, they did not get there without the core. And if this is if the new space game is going to be that a contained game of 1,000 planets, which no fucking way, that thing is going to have to tap into somewhere, because
look at No Man's Sky.
But that's procedurally generated. If you're saying there's a hard limit of 1,000 planets, that means that somebody had to make a lot of people had to make 1,000 planets, and they had to be static, right?
Yeah,
maybe.
So, if that's all content in the game, what are we talking about? Terabytes of data? You're going to have to download all these planets?
Oh my God, that's going to be huge.
Well, that's why Bethesda releases a game once every 10 years, is because the technology doesn't exist. They make it, pretty much.
I guess.
Even, I go back to... this is one of the most exciting things for me. I played Morrowind on the original Xbox, which is Elder Scrolls 3.
Yeah.
And loved it. It was very difficult, but loved it. Then when they came out with Oblivion, it was 5-10 years later, and I was watching the behind the scenes stuff, and the stuff they were talking about at the time, which now seems pretty normal, is just everyone in Morrowind was pretty much an NPC that was stationary in their house or around, they'll walk around a predetermined path. Now in Oblivion, they had weekly schedules where it's on the weekend, this shop is closed and the shop owner is going to walk to the bar and you can find him in the tavern if you need to have him. And, everyone has their weekly schedule, and that blew my mind. I'm like, what? They have their own lives? This is going to be amazing.
You're highlighting something that I've overlooked until this point, because maybe Bethesda, for all their faults and all their weird, all the jokes that are made at Bethesda's, behest, somebody has to be at that cutting edge to be there for the blood, for all the goriness that they have to suffer through to get the technology to where it needs to be. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody's going to come out and be Terminator 2 and have realistic looking graphics way before that shit should be readily available, or a Jurassic Park. There's going to be a lot of people doing growing pains. And Bethesda has been doing a lot of the heavy lifting for almost their entire career.
I think that they have their own engine. I mean, I don't know if they let anyone use it afterwards, but, I feel like the Unreal Engine is something everyone uses in video games nowadays. But I think Bethesda comes up with their own stuff, like their own in-house stuff that they use. So basically everything's just made from scratch.
Yeah. So you know what? Say what you will about them, and I have said, they're basically playing the same game over and over and over again. But they're not in it for necessarily the story. Then maybe they're in it for the tech advancements, because that's their thing, right? Is all these big expansive characters and dialogue, and if they're gonna gush over how many lines of dialogue there are, that must be the most important thing to them.
And the hilarious thing is, I didn't even realize this until years after playing Skyrim. They're like, oh yeah, there's only 6 voice actors for Skyrim. I'm like, no way. And then I start listening to all the voices.
You're like, oh yeah, okay.
No matter what race, no matter what, I'm just like, oh shoot, yeah, that's the same guy doing everything.
Hilarious. That's like a cultural meme that somehow you missed out on.
Yeah.
You're like, what?
What do you mean?
Maybe you're just one of those people who has a very strong sense of regarding their disbelief.
I can see that.
Well,
I'm very childlike.
But it's hard to gauge because you don't see movies, so it's hard to see where that kicks in.
Well, yeah, because I play video games. That's my thing.
Well, okay, so yeah, this also explains why you like Life is Strange. You're willing to look past so many things to disbelieve that you enjoy that game.
Oh, yeah.
It is completely disbelievable.
Yeah. Oh. And Bethesda games are completely glitchy.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's my and everybody else's beef with them is nothing in it acts like it does in real life.
Yeah. Well, that's why when I know it's a different company, but when Cyberpunk came out, granted, I played it on PC, which is probably the best version out of all the, compared to PlayStation 5 and all that stuff. But when Cyberpunk came out, I played it in its glitchiness, and I had a couple of them, but I'm used to this. This is nothing new for me. It's I was stuck in a mission, I couldn't get out of it. It's okay, well, if I kill the main character to get out of, or the main person of this mission, will that reset it? Or trying to debug it myself just to get out of it, and eventually figuring it out.
That feels more like crunch and a poor product delivered too quickly than what Bethesda does, which is put all of their elbow grease into shit that is not gameplay, that is not mechanics. ESO or Morrowind or Oblivion, all of their characters have wild, gleaming, obvious flaws, but that's not where their importance is. Their importance is the fact that you can talk to them, that there's dialogue, that there's millions of hours of gameplay. You realize no one is saying, we now host believable humans. Get swept away in the real. No one, they're not saying that. They're saying you're going to be in for the long haul.
Yeah. This lady's going to have triangle boobs and you're going to like it. Yeah.
Get ready for 8,000 hours of this triangular ass because it's all yours.
I never, once I'm in a game, I don't think about the process too much of it. But I know Mass Effect was getting a lot of heat when their final game, or no, they finished the series that had a lot of heat to it. But then I think they released another game. Yeah, it was in Andromeda or something that. And people were complaining about the graphics, how people's faces weren't finished, and this and that. And
that was hilarious.
Then I was reading articles from people in the industry, and they're just yeah, it's kind of something no one talks about, but when you're putting money into a game, 90% of your or not 90, but most people are probably not going to see the end of the game. So you want to put your polished stuff on the main storyline and not the side stuff. Mm-hmm. And then as much of the polished stuff in the beginning of the game.
Oh, totally.
And probably the very ending. The middle stuff, you're going to skimp a little bit. You're going to skimp where you can, but you want the main story to be as polished as possible. And I never thought about that until that happened. And they're this side quest, this person has no facial expression because they released it before they could finish.
Yeah, we don't give a shit. But that's another thing that the industry has now bloated up into. like back when you bought a cartridge or it was on a CD or whatever, they had to make sure that shit worked because all of our consoles were not attached to the internet. Now you can release dog shit and be like, oh, we'll patch it. Like literal dog shit.
Patches are a huge thing.
Yeah. Like you say, well, it's early access or, whatever. You can push it up, push it up, push it up. But there's no guarantee you're getting what you're paying for. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like buying a savings
fix it in
bond.
Post. We'll do it live.
Right. It's like buying a savings bond. What happens is you buy it and you go, okay, it'll be worth something more later. Like you fucking lived it with No Man's Sky. You got it at, I'm sure, fair market price at the time, which was incredibly high for such a shitty and shallow game. But it had to grow into that worth. And here we are. The savings bond paid off because you blew 4 days on it.
It took 2 years for that game to finally produce what they said they were going to produce.
Right. And so what the fuck? The people who suffer are you and me. They get,
Yeah, we do suffer.
We get to see coming soon. We get to see pre-built. We get to see alphas and early access.
I almost feel like No Man's Sky and Cyberpunk had the same issue where like a lot of the publishers were like, all right, well, we're not putting any more money into this. You need to release it as is.
Yeah, which is ridiculous.
Yeah. And then, well, at least then they get some money. And I feel like that lets them keep the lights on until they can fix it.
Imagine running any other industry like that. Imagine going to the movie theater and being like, hey,
like
whoa, like there's a bunch, you just like the first 20 minutes of the movie edited, there's music, the middle 50, there's gaffes and it's not edited very tightly. The music budget isn't there. They're using the on-set mics because the VO money ran out. And then the last 20 minutes, solid gold. Who would fucking do that? But we've been,
We'll let you see it again for free in 2 years.
Yeah, hey, in 2 years when we're done, come on back. If you still give a fuck, stand in line again, come back in, watch the movie. And then, like, that's the only industry where we'll take that shit. And it's crazy to me because, like, if the ecosystem doesn't happen or if it was a shitty idea to begin with, then you got a bunch of people who got suckered in to, they bought, that bridge in in Arizona.
I don't even know if you heard about the Diablo Immortal debacle on mobile games.
Yeah, I remember that. There are so many things like that though. And I don't know why video games are an industry that we just have grown to accept it. Like in any other industry ever, like you would have to, like, imagine buying a car that didn't have seats in it that would be there eventually. Like buying a house.
Or you would have to pay $50 for it later.
Yeah, they can download seatbelts in later. And like, it's slow. Like, it's kind of like stealing parts from the Ford factory. If you steal one part every day, eventually, you'll have a car. But at what cost?
Aren't they doing that with Tesla right now? Like,
I have no idea.
I mean, if I remember correctly, there's like two. I mean, I'm sure there's multiple versions, but it's like the same car. But if you want the supercharge, like the battery that charges super fast, you can pay extra. And all it is a programming thing in the car. So the battery is exactly the same.
Oh yeah.
But you're paying for how quickly it could charge.
Yeah, and get ready for that because it's software as a service is now a thing, and since everything is going to be a computer, you're going to be paying subscription fees for basically everything you use at some point.
Yeah,
I feel like the newest thing in games is season passes, where you'll earn stuff, but you earn the right to kind of buy it.
Right.
So it's like the more you play it, it'll be like, oh, there's 100 levels you can earn experience for in this season, and it'll go from Fortnite does it, Sea of Thieves does it. There was a new popular game that's coming out that everyone was excited for. It was just gonna have seasons, and I can't remember. Oh, Overwatch.
Okay.
Instead of the loot crates, they're gonna have season passes. So now the more games you play, the more experience you earn. They'll have a free bar that you gain, stuff every other level, but then they have a paid bar. And if you hit level 100 before the season ends, you'll get like that skin that only people who played during this season will get. And they'll be like, you unlocked it as long as you buy the pass for $10. So then it's like, okay.
Isn't that crazy that you're buying into an ecosystem that is there just to get money out of you? Like, you show up and they go, hey, guess what? It's super fun in here. And then you get in there and you go, oh, fuck, I got to pay for this job?
Yeah. Well, and I started thinking about it. I'm just like, if they just said, okay, this skin is $10, you would probably just be like, meh. And you'll pass, because do you really care about it that much? Maybe, maybe not. But the fact that you had to play 40 to 50 hours to earn the right to pay for it.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden you're like, oh, like not everyone's going to have that.
It's kind of sneaky how they brainwash you into thinking that digital goods have some real world value, right?
It's almost like an NFT.
Yeah. Because if you're going to throw $10 at something, that feels, you go, I just spent $10 on something that is literally just a palette swap of a thing that I also don't technically own. Mm-hmm. But if you go, well, get a season pass, and if you work hard enough, if you're good enough, if you prove yourself, then bam, that thing has value. So by slightly holding it out of your reach, it now has value in this ecosystem that is completely fabricated.
I'm gonna cry the day Steam shuts down. Just like the hundreds of games I have, and also one day, in 40 years from now, they're gonna shut down. I'm gonna be what, 76, and I'm just gonna be like, my games.
By then, like the platform will have jumped, technology several hundred times. So by then you won't even need a device. It'll be a computer chip in your head if we live that long.
Oh God, that'll be the day. I can't wait for that.
But isn't that weird? Like, that's why I talk about this fairly often. I'm still a fan of physical media because of the exact that. Software as a service, once they decide to not provide that service anymore, now what?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It does feel stupid in hindsight, collecting Disney VHS, clamshells. And today, I'm sure people are doing it with Blu-ray and stuff, but they can't ever come and take it back from you.
Right.
Yeah. I remember a few years back, Sony sent me an email. They're like, hey, we're shutting down our services for any digital movies you bought. So, like, you had a chance to either, I forget whether it was transferred to a different service or, like, download them. But they're like, yeah, even though you bought it, once we shut this service down, obviously there's no way for you to download it anymore. So they give you like a few months head start. But yeah, it's already happening where services are shutting down and you're losing your digital goods.
Right. And like the smartest thing anyone can do, I mean, we're going to have people in this situation who are both wheat and chaff. But, once Netflix moved to the internet and there are no DVDs anymore, that was off to the races, and now we have streaming services for everything. Everything is a subscription. Mm-hmm. So now we're in that Wild West time when everybody's offering a subscription to shit, and eventually it'll consolidate back down to a few big ones like cable TV did.
Yeah.
Yep.
But in the meantime, you're paying 1 million different subscriptions to 1 million different things that'll slowly drop off. CISO, Quibi, CBS All Access, I think, is dying and or dead. Like, HBO has theirs, Paramount has theirs, Disney has theirs, Netflix, Hulu, Amazon. Like, what the fuck? When you ordered cable, you got a bunch of channels and that was that. Like, it's now so treacherous being a consumer because they go, well, you signed up for it. So
and people think like, oh, we're saving so much money than having cable, but they have, 6 different subscriptions. It's like, are you really though? Because you're paying $11, $12, $13.
And then you're paralyzed. At least here's the thing. Here's the thing about cable.
Hey, we got one. Yes.
There's been a few, RJ.
Yeah.
But here's the thing about this. With cable and live TV, like, you were forced into making a fucking decision. Yes. Because it's all happening right now and you're flipping through trying to find something. With streaming services like Netflix and Hulu and all the ones I mentioned, nothing is starting until you've picked something. Mm-hmm. And since nobody wants to make a decision about literally anything, most of us either go in knowing based on a recommendation from a friend or something, or you endlessly surf through a million different pictures and genres and go back to watching The Office or whatever your flavor of comfort food is.
Yep.
And it's crazy because it's, given too much choice, there's no choice to make.
That is interesting, though, because I wouldn't have like my 5 or 6 channels that I remembered the actual number to.
Bingo.
Out of the thousands of channels they have on cable now. And, I would go to my my Nickelodeon or my Fox or whatever, and this and that.
Yeah.
And even if I knew the channel and what I liked, and if they're playing something different, I might actually watch something different. Where if I'm scrolling through a Netflix, I'm just like, what is that? I don't know. And I'm just going to scroll by it.
Right. It's something that we're doing ourselves a disservice is what I'm going to get at, because, as a hunter-gatherer root and origin, we like that shit. We like shopping. We like going and finding things in action and latching onto them. And we like, having something that we can miss. There's no missing anything anymore. It's always on, like seasons of shows will drop, so you've got all access to it all the time until the next one drops. And so there's never urgency. You're never going to stumble upon something unless you're looking proactively or taking recommendations. But then again, then you're back to that sea of endless content, and you go, well, now what?
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I like how Disney does it, where they release an episode a week.
Yeah.
And so you always got to come back. There's a few exceptions to the rule. But yeah, like Netflix just drops everything.
Yeah, but we're learning that. We're learning that we need these breaks in between things. We need to build anticipation. We need to hunt and peck and forage. Because if you grew up for the first 2 or 3 million years, always on the run, always looking, always hunting, when presented a smorgasbord that never ends but is constantly growing higher, you always go back to the same pile of mashed potatoes you're used to.
Mm-hmm. And that's what Hulu does, right, too, what you were saying about how, like, when I was watching The Handmaid's Tale before I got overwhelmed with it, they would just drop one. Once a couple seasons were already out, I think then they realized how popular it became, and then they started doing it once a week to make you go back to it.
Because it builds that hunger.
Yeah.
Which is interesting, because when Netflix first had their first popular like original series, and maybe it was whatever it was, they dropped it all at once, and that was a big deal. They're like, we don't have to wait, we can watch it all at once,
right? And
it was awesome. But now every show is doing that, and we kind of missed that.
The novelty of binging became a thing. And now, look at how the culture has shifted. So when that happened and the idea of binging a show became like, oh my God, this is incredible. We no longer have to wait till next week, right? And it blew everybody's asses apart because you could basically mainline your drug of choice. Mm-hmm. And just like anybody who gets unlimited access to the thing that they love the most, it quickly becomes the thing that is the most bland. Because you're constantly shoving it in your face and it's not being doled out slowly to you.
Right.
And so now, from going to be like, oh yeah, I'm binging. Now, we use the term binge worthy because not everything is binge worthy anymore. To sit down and take a hard, 10 hours, 8 hours, 6 hours of your life to watch a season or a miniseries or whatever Netflix all drops at once, you go, Jesus Christ. The tower of episodes and shit standing before you can be daunting.
Yeah.
So there are so many ways to get knocked off of exploring through these things. Live stuff it's important because if I missed an episode of The Simpsons back when I was a kid, week ruined.
You wouldn't know when that rerun was going to happen.
Right. And even if it was a rerun and because, when they hit syndication, Fox would run 2 or 3 episodes at 9 or 10 at night. And if I missed one or both of them, sucked. And I knew there was nothing I could do.
Yeah.
Because I had to be there. And it was you had to, there you go. You had to work for it. You had to pay the $10, metaphorically, to put in the 80 hours to get that pair of, juicy boxer shorts for your fucking Fortnite character.
New Fistful of Podcast Juicy Boxer Shorts.
We need to have things doled out.
$10.
Yeah, that'll be in the store next.
But you have to listen to 8 hours of Fistful of Podcast before you have the privilege of buying the boxers.
Yeah, and an achievement unlocks on YouTube, and then you can buy the fucking underwear. And then you'll want them because you'll have suffered for them. And then,
exactly.
Even after you go to that Mexican restaurant you swore you'd never go back to and blow them out, you won't throw them away because you put so much time into them. You'll wash them over and over again, but the stain will never leave. But you'll never get rid of them because you put so much time into them.
It's the principle.
And while you're in that bathroom, you'll spray Febreze all over their seat.
Yep.
Yeah, because you're one of those fucking monsters. I take it back. Don't listen if you're one of those people. If you actively enjoy shitting in public or think of it as a viable option on a day-to-day basis, stop listening. This isn't for you.
If you are going to take these boxers into the bathroom of a public restroom, don't buy these.
They're not for you.
If you're going in there to take a piss, I'm not expecting you to drop trow, leave the boxers outside. So there will be, prices of participation may vary. Check your local store for details or write away to that P.O. box that they all used. That's what I'm getting at. But yeah, that's probably good, RJ. I feel like we've talked about
cars.
I pitched that idea for you. We definitely got, the politics and the ins and outs of two industries we are not involved with. Yep. So, solid gold there. Why don't we start wrapping it up?
Alrighty.
We don't do staff recommendations anymore, but if you're doing anything and want to plug, if you're going to be streaming soon or ever or whatever, if you want to plug yourself, now would be the time.
I mean, you could find me at RJ Snacks SNAX everywhere. On Instagram, on Xbox.
Are you going on Xbox? Are you going to be on Twitch anytime soon? Are you going to be streaming any games? I miss when you used to do that.
You know what? You, out of all people, kind of motivate me to stream. I feel like I need a purpose, and I feel like you may randomly choose a game sometimes, but at least you kind of have a plan to entertain. I feel like the last few times I streamed, I really didn't have a plan. It was just like, I'm going to play this game, and if people show up, and I realized that's not what I want. So I got to find that motivation again, and then maybe hop back on Twitch. Okay, so you are looking for a means to an end, but you don't know what the end is yet. Yes. Well, not for nothing, but when we do our whatever they are now, our gamer races or crossovers or battles or whatever, I mean, it wouldn't be hard to pivot one of those into you and me, because PJ and I, for those listening, eventually, hopefully, PJ and I are going to be going through to the moon. Oh, yes. Enjoy that one. He's been wailing up and down about it. What an emotional journey it is. So I said, fine, we'll do it. Well, I feel like that's the wrong thing to say. What do you mean? Because now... Well, no, because it is. It's an emotional journey. But he says it so much that I feel like your expectations are going to be so high for sure, that it might not meet them now. No, yeah. Half of why I'm doing this is because I feel like I'm definitely going to be undercutting it unintentionally, simply because he's been building it up to me for so long. So that's half the reason I'm doing it. But who knows? It might surprise me. There you go. You get to be him while he was playing Gang Beasts. Basically, yeah. I'm going to be and it's sad. I'm sorry, PJ, if you're listening to this. I apologize in advance, because I know what he wants is for me to go through the journey he did and feel all the same sentimental feelings at the appropriate moments, and then he wants to make some connections there. And I don't want to say this will happen, but I feel in my bones that I'm going with an open mind as I can, right? I'm going to try and get swept up in the emotion and get invested in the story. But it's me. So we'll see what happens. That's why I don't sell Life is Strange to everybody. Right. It's like I know my friends who will take that journey and the friends who will not. That's why I've never recommended it to you to actually go and play it, because I know you will not have the same journey that I had, and I don't want the game ruined for me.
But I do enjoy watching you play it, because it is like watching someone manipulate an alternate reality where things are like a Twilight Zone. I mean, the game is weird, but moral of the story is, we could go and not double tap, but tag team something narratively focused. I feel like you might, if you were a talking head along with me, like as I'm playing through the Dark Side Detective, that might be interesting to have a less. There's no other way to describe you, RG, other than like a straight man. Comedically, you are the straight man in this relationship, and I'm the lady. So I feel like what I'm going through with this Dark Side Detective game, it's already like cranked its zaniness up to 11, so I've got nothing to work with, and I feel like somebody needs to be the deadpan, the serious one in this relationship.
That's not me.
And Chris is trying, but she's the news girl. You know what I mean?
I'm just the person that reads the typing square.
She nails the typing square. She does all the stuff behind the scenes, like get all the. Like, the show does not exist without her. So the fact that she does
I got
that,
an email.
Yeah, exactly.
Telling me about this.
And that the reason why this show continues is because of all the behind the scenes stuff she does. So I don't expect you to do any heavy lifting on air. If you happen to one day be like, ta-da, then I'll be like, whoa, great.
Ta-da.
But until then, you're good for the occasional third-party perspective on things when they get heated or whatever. But I need someone who's there to... someone who is there because they're on mic, as that's their thing.
Right. Yeah.
Anyway.
Makes sense.
Moral of the story is maybe we'll talk to you off air and see if we can get you rolling into my stream a little bit, because I feel like you're a talent that is going wasted by doing nothing, and just because you don't have the drive to do it yourself for whatever end, I'm going to exploit the hell out of that, as I am doing now during this show, as a matter of fact.
Perfect.
So you get it. Anyway, check out RJ Snacks. Check out us, our stream. We're on the Twitch and stuff. Eventually, it's all going to YouTube. So if you don't really want to switch, it doesn't matter. It'll all go everywhere eventually. And it's been very fun. RJ showed up in the typing square, which is always fun too.
Yeah.
Hear that?
In the what?
Wildly agrees, this guy. All right, RJ. So I guess... until next time we meet, when I'm either describing a movie to you may or may not want to watch, or, we're solving some zany crime. I appreciate you coming on the show, man.
Thanks for having me.
And of course, dear listener, thank you for tuning in. Sorry about the last couple, but you know what? Computers, right? And software, it's problems, technical issues. So anyway, we'll catch you next time on whatever comes out on this channel. Bye-bye.